Yo, baby. Alright, so I wanted to do this for a long time. But I'm gonna just do it, okay? Hair's not done, makeup's not done, but we're throwing this all the way back to like 2014, 2015 when influencers were influencing, you know? The vlogs, the story times, all that, that's where we're at. We're real heart-to-heart situation. Because here's the thing. I wanted to make this because I feel like there's a lot of crazy stuff out there right now, okay? A lot of bad advice on weight loss and a lot of dangerous advice. I see bitches posting their what I eat in a day, and it is a saltine cracker, okay? And maybe a protein bar. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna cut it, okay? I see a bunch of people talking about the paleo diet, the carnivore diet. We got, Weight Watchers and Beachbody and la 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 la. Juice cleanses. What the hell is going on? Because I lost this weight and I ain't doing none of that. That ain't for me. So, and honestly, I think that, everything is going to be different for everybody, right? If you get on a diet and that works for you, or, you have your doctor say that you need to do something in a certain way, please disregard, and do what works best for you. All peace and love. You know what I mean? If you out here paleo, Neanderthal dieting it, I'm happy for you. It just wasn't going to work for me specifically. I also will be mentioning stuff about having Turner syndrome and Hashimoto's disease and how I came to find out about that. So we're going to start there, okay? So we'll start with the Turner syndrome. So when I was younger, I was diagnosed with Turner syndrome, which, if you don't know, is a partial deletion or full deletion of like the X chromosome. Something like that. You can Google it. And basically, that's why I'm so short. And it can lead to other, abnormalities and other things as far as like organs and fertility and all that stuff. So far, I've come back A-okay. I'm literally just 4'8". That's where we're at. So I had to take growth hormone for years. Bodybuilder shit. That's why I'm as jacked as I am. Started young. Thank you. And then it also does kind of create problems later on with your thyroid, which, will cue in the Hashimoto's, and problems with weight. So that's what I've experienced. Also, like irregular periods, stuff like that. Sorry if that's a little, to talk about on the internet, but hey, it happens to the best of us. That's why I was on birth control. Like most people, a lot of people get on birth control when they're young. I started when I was in like 8th grade, something like that. Which, yeah, is just kind of, I'm still on it to this day. Then same thing, with Hashimoto's, people notice weight gain, fatigue. I was very tired. I also had an iron deficiency, which got so bad that I needed a blood transfusion. I've also had vitamin D deficiencies pretty regularly, as do many people who live in states. Like, I live in Michigan, so we don't get a lot of sunlight, and apparently that's a factor. All this to say, I was set up to have weight issues and to have trouble losing weight, and for it to be very easy to gain weight, okay? So, and my, metabolism, very slow, okay? I put too much ranch on my lettuce, I'm waking up 20 pounds heavier. It's never gonna work. So, that has been a struggle for me my entire life. I ended up dieting a bunch, so, very restrictive, because when you're young, all you know is to not eat. And then they were teaching calorie counting in school, which, gotta love my fitness pal, shouts out. Which it's like, I don't know, it's like right, I don't know, how do I say this? It's like right message, wrong delivery. If we're talking, because they talk about calories, right, and to kind of keep those lower, right, and to find ways to reduce those, but they don't really talk about macros. They don't talk about how important getting enough protein is. They don't talk about the proper proportions of fat, carbs, and proteins, the big three and stuff like that, and how much each person needs, based on their weight and based on their height and based on their activity level and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So I feel like, and a lot of those recommendations that they were giving were pretty low, now looking back, at least for me and my body. I need a lot more protein, and limiting the carbs and limiting fats and stuff like that. And most of the time, that's what really works. High protein, low carb, low fat. I mean, come on now. You're talking about paleo, keto, whatever. That's really what it is. You can dress it up, put a ribbon on it, put a bow, put some makeup on, and it's still going to be that. Because you're still eating less carbs. You know what I mean? And you're still eating high protein. And then being restricted on calories. The macros work out. Does that make sense? Anyway, all that to say, I've tried so many diets. I was vegetarian, I was vegan, I did, go ahead and played around with the calorie counting stuff as well, if you can count that as a diet, I guess. That was probably the worst, along with the veganism, I'm not gonna lie, just based on, which, I mean, again, no hate, I did it, I liked it, it's just, I wasn't doing it in the healthy way, alright? Oreos are vegan. Keep that in mind, okay? So, you can eat Oreos all day, every day, and you still vegan. Chew on that. Thank you. Alright. So, it's just my diet and where I was maturity-wise was not good. I just wanted to lose weight no matter what. Didn't matter. You could chop my arm off. If it lost me 20 pounds, I was going to do it. Over-exercising, under-eating. Probably some binging. I don't know if you could call that, because I never ate to the point of, like, throwing up. But it would be definitely days where I would not eat as much, and then, my cheat day or whatever, I would eat back and then some, whatever I was trying to restrict. So, I think when we're talking about all those things that didn't work, now we'll talk about some of the things that did. You need to get to the point where you realize whatever you decide you're going to do, you need to make a commitment for life. This isn't just a cute little, let me just see, I have this summer event coming up and I really need to lose 15 pounds in 3 months and we're doing it. Good luck. And be realistic, okay? A realistic healthy weight loss is no more than 2 pounds per week. And that 2 pounds, probably pushing it. I aim for about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds, okay? If I get more than that, great. But, nothing more than like 2 pounds because you're losing muscle. You're losing muscle. I repeat, if you lose more than 2 pounds, it is not fat. Okay, I said it. So you don't believe me, that's okay. But as I was going through school, I studied physiology and I started to learn more about how the body works, how everything that you eat turns into something else that you need, and kind of getting, deep into like podcasts. And one of my brother's best friends started bodybuilding, so that kind of, amped certain things up. Made me think about diet, made me think about exercise in a different way, because before exercise equaled cardio, I would go run, I would go whatever. So the 2 things that I changed was obviously diet, so higher protein, lower carb like I talked about, lower fat, ish, and kind of looking at those macros. So again, if you're talking about protein, let's try to aim for your body weight. And I know that's going to be hard. I know. you're going to say, I can't do it, Gabby. I can't eat that much protein. That's the point. That's the point. You're going to be satiated and you're going to be full. You're not going to want to eat all of it because you're not going to be starving to death, okay? So for me, that looks like I'm not opening my mouth unless it's 30 grams of protein per meal. That only gets me to 90, baby. We could still eat a little bit more. We could still have a protein shake at the end of the day with that, okay? So aim for your body weight in protein. And then, try to do, I would say, healthy carbs, which is going to be things like rice, potatoes. It's going to be things like, I don't even know, like fruits, veggies, stuff like that. Those would count as carbs, I would say. I count those as carbs. And then healthy fats, peanut butter, nuts, avocado. You've heard these things. I feel like you know as I know. It's just hard. It's easy to understand, hard to do. However, as I said, if all you focus on is protein, start there. Amp that up. And by that time, you will have no room for the other junk that you're typically eating. Okay? Promise you. And then healthy swaps, right? So like, let's say you're eating all that white bread. Let's go to carb smart bread. Let's go to lower calorie bread. You're eating 6 nuggets. Let's bring that baby down to 4 nuggets. Okay, when you go through that drive-thru. You ordering a large fry, let's go for the medium or small, perhaps. All right, you drinking Coke, let's drink Diet. And I don't want to hear about how it tastes. Okay, does that really matter in the grand scheme of things? Or are you trying to fit into a new pant size? Yeah, that's what I thought. Because you still not where you want to be. So, and I also don't want to hear about the aspartame or all this other stuff. Hey, y'all vaping, please spare me the theatrics. Thank you. Anyway, so diet, focusing on protein. If you focus on nothing else, focus on protein. Also, how I'm exercising. Weight lift, bitch. Weight lift. Cut it with the cardio. Maybe cut it down to 1 day, babe. But you don't need it. Go out, start lifting. And I don't want to hear about you getting bulky. I don't want to hear about you getting manly. Because it ain't going to happen. Alright? You know how much testosterone you got to be on for you to look like that? And you don't have the genetics. It was never going to be you. It was never going to be you. Get in there and lift weight. I don't want to hear about it. There's so many benefits. And especially for women, you want to fall down and break a hip? Go ahead and keep playing. Go ahead and keep running. Running all the way to the hospital. Okay, check yourself in because you're going to need it. And honestly, those are the 2 things that I would say. Protein, lifting weights. That's it. Boom, bada bing, baby. You're going to see some things. All right. And, if you want to add a third, you want to get crazy with it. The third element is going to be, the healthy swaps that I was talking about, right? Low fat cheese has less calories. And you're going to sit there and look for, the low calorie version of your favorite breads. Maybe like a protein pasta instead of your regular pasta. Stuff like that. Egg whites instead of like regular eggs. What else do I usually swap out? Like I said, the diet drinks. If you're real getting tired of water. Hey. And I'm going to just say this because I have seen water talk. If you don't like water and you're going to put, little flavoring packets in it, that's great. That's fine. I approve 100%. Just, it's not really water at that point. I'm sorry. That's juice. It's okay. That's okay. Get it how you live it, right? But I'm just letting you know. Unfortunately. But yeah, there's a lot of different options, and that's just what worked for me. Not like overhauling anything, but just being mindful. Truthfully, for me, cutting gluten and cutting dairy really helped as well. I was getting super strict on it for a while, but I have psoriasis, and it definitely helped with my psoriasis. And I have inflammation in my body because of the Hashimoto's, and so the low inflammatory diets that I've read kind of say to limit gluten, limit dairy, and just see how things go. Not everybody is going to notice a huge difference. I did, and it is hard. It is hard to eat unhealthily when you don't have gluten and you don't have dairy, because most nasty things, most good things in life have those things in it. So anyway, make sure you're keeping an eye on your protein, lift some weight, make some healthy swaps, and I promise you, you're gonna be looking good, babe.